be saying like that, and they'd be like, so what do you mean you started crying? Yeah, it's both of us, two of us. What was the noise you made? You heard that? Can you repeat the noise you made? What was the my stick one? They cut them off, right? What was the my stick one to your race? To make sure you get.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, I can.
We've got Coach Kitley. Don, I'll run and get Coach Thomas for you. But before we'll start with Lexi Price, PR in the 600-yard today and 7th in program history. So we'll start with her, then we'll go to Kitley. And when Kitley's up, I'll go and find Coach Thomas for you. But we'll start with.
Hi.
Hello.
How are y'all?
Doing well. How are you?
Good.
How did you feel about your race today? 600.
I felt really great. I felt really strong when I was running. It was just, honestly, I had fun with it today, and I think that was a big difference from just past races. And so that was really cool, just enjoying the race and, going out there and giving it my all.
You said it was fun today, and that was different from past races. Can you elaborate on that a little bit? How so?
I think beforehand, my coach Glavish, he was just really helping me, just encouraging me and kind of reminding me that like I am good enough to be out here, not just hyping me up to be boastful, but just remind me that we have trained so hard, and especially being with my teammates Sylvia and Joanna, just being around them, they're just such encouraging people. So it's just a really great environment to be in, and to build up just confidence in yourself. And so that I think really helped me. And then like once you get that confidence in yourself, everything after that is just, it's fun, and that's what we're out here to be doing. So
Personal record for you today, I believe.
yes, sir.
How does that, I guess, how do you feel about that? Being able to kind of see that sign of progress?
So that was really cool for me. I think in the past meets for this year, the past indoor meets, I didn't get the times exactly that I wanted, but they were definitely challenging races that I learned from. And so it was just really cool, like getting to learn from those races and then apply them to this race, and just kind of seeing it paying off in this race. And it was just really good for me and for my confidence, I think. And then just getting to see how Sylvia, my teammate, she's improving, and we just have a really good teammate bond, I guess. And it's just a good system we have going, I think.
I know in the past you've been a hurdler and a sprinter. How do you feel about what do you feel like your best event is, and how have you kind of, I guess, kind of settled into the 600?
Yeah, so I would kind of say the 600 is one of my better events, just because 400 hurdles is really new to me. I didn't run hurdles in high school or elementary or anything. So getting to college, I had to learn the hurdles right from the beginning. And so that's just been a really challenge, but it's been fun. but it's just not as natural for me. So it's just been something that I've had to get good at as I've gotten here. But the 600, I would say, is probably my better race just because I'm a sprinter, but I'm also more endurance based. So I think it's like the perfect race for me and the talents that God gave me. So
I guess Big 12's coming up. Is that kind of the next chance to measure yourself, kind of how you stack up?
yes, sir. That will be not next weekend, but the weekend after that.
Right. I know you've been all Big 12 before. How do you feel like you'll stack up this year?
I really feel like the chances are good of hopefully getting in the top 5. There are some really great girls in the 600. I know that, and it's going to be competitive. One of the girls is Sylvia, who is my teammate. So it's nothing bitter against each other. It's all just encouragement, and we're honestly all just out there trying to help each other get better times. And it's not, I try not to look at it as we're competing against each other and trying to beat each other. It's more just we're all out there trying to help each other out and get better times.
Do you know, have y'all talked yet about what the plan is for you in the Big 12 in terms of the events that you will do?
For me, I will be doing the 600 and the 4x4 as of right now. So that's
okay. Eric Kelly, you want to jump in?
Yeah, Don. Yeah, thank you for asking. You talked about having a teammate who's kind of in that same range in terms of pushing you and kind of allowing you to know what the times are going to be like in that top 5 in Big 12. How helpful is that to where you don't just have to wait to look at other meets and how other people perform to kind of know where you need to be in practice?
It is really helpful. It's nice in practice because I know that we're always going to push each other. And if maybe we beat each other in a rep in practice or one of us doesn't do so good, whatever it may be, we know like to keep each other on track and to push each other. And like we know our limits and how far we can go. So if maybe one of us isn't going as hard as we can, like we can push each other and just be encouraging in that way. But then also like when we get into meets on the track, it's just comforting to have her out there with me because I know that both of us have the strength to be out there, and we're going to push each other and we're going to pace each other. And so I just love having her out there with me.
And then in terms of, this has been kind of a weird year and a weird season, how do you feel like you're rounding into form in terms of maybe compared to years past?
I think this year is definitely different for me because I feel a lot stronger physically, but also mentally. I think in the weight room, I've really pushed myself, and so getting stronger there has really helped. Also mentally, just because, you know, coming in, I came in as a walk-on here, and so I was a little nervous that I wouldn't be good enough just because they didn't recruit me. But I've just realized that like working hard and knowing that you can, if you know you can do it, like push yourself. And even if there's times that I feel like maybe I'm not the best one out here, like there's going to be times like that, I know. But just like pushing myself to my limits and like using the gifts that God gave me to the best of my ability, that's the most I can do. So just being more confident in that way and finding my confidence, not just in myself, but through the Lord and just everything that gave me and he blessed me with. So definitely that.
I guess last one. When was that point that you kind of realized that you belonged?
I guess there's not really one specific point. I feel like ever since I got here, I have felt like I belong just because the environment here is so welcoming and everyone is encouraging. I've made so many friends, and the coaches are great. They make me feel welcome. But there's also just like in the back of your mind, it's like am I welcome here? As in, do I fit in? Am I good enough? So just like in that aspect, I think it's definitely been a process, and like I'm still figuring that out. But I definitely think like making it to Big 12 my freshman year, that was a huge point for me, because I'm made it as a freshman, and I never even thought I'd be running in meets. I thought maybe I would just be sitting on the bench, but they put me in there, and I got to make it to Big 12, and that was a huge moment for me. So
You're you said you came here as a walk-on and had wondered if you were going to be good enough. Tell us a little more about that. Did you recruit Texas Tech, or what was kind of who made kind of the initial contact between you and Tech?
So my in high school, I never really planned on running track in college. Soccer was my main sport, actually, and I was trying to go to college for that. But then my senior year, I made it to state, which I had in the years past, but I did better my senior year. And so I was talking to my high school coach, Steve Parsons. Shout out to him. I was talking to him, and he was saying that you could definitely hang in there. I mean, my times weren't winning in the Big 12s or whatever, but I definitely saw the potential in myself to improve my time. So he reached out to Coach Kitley and talked on the phone with him, and Coach Kitley was like, "We don't have money, but we'll take her." And so I thought about it for a little bit, and I was like, "I'll do it." I mean, I feel like this is where God wants me. So this rest is history.
And let's say you went to a Taft school, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. From Tyler?
Yes, sir. Grace.
Yeah. Did you know much about Texas Tech then before you came out here?
Yeah, my dad and my uncle went here, and aunt, and so I've always kind of been interested in it. And I had decided I was going to Tech by the end of my junior year, so I was coming here whether they wanted me to run or not. So
you would have come here just to be a student then?
yes, sir.
Yep. You said you wanted to go to college for soccer. Did you have anybody express interest in you then for soccer?
Yeah, I was on an ECNL team in Dallas, and so that was just to help me get recruited and seen by coaches. But I was traveling a lot for it. I had to drive like 2 hours to practice about like three times a week. And so it kind of burnt me out. And I just kind of realized like maybe this isn't where the Lord wants me. And then my senior year, I just did my high school team for soccer. I didn't do club or anything. But soccer was my first love, I would say.
But you kind of found your niche though in track.
Yes. Definitely.
I think that'll take care of me, unless Eric has anything else, or unless there's anything else you want to add.
I think that's
Good.
about it.
All good?
Thanks, Lexi.
Nice.
Thank you so much. Y'all have a good day.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. We're going to have Coach Thomas hop up here real quick, and then we'll get to Coach Kitley right after.
Okay.
Oh, I can't see me. How's it going, guys?
Good, James. You all right?
Good. I'm real good.
Hey, I wanted to ask you about what Trey did today. Did you see a video of his jump, or?
I haven't seen the video yet. Kind of got the live results, got to see jump by jump, and, kind of see him miss a bar, clear it. And then, just one of those years where it's been a weird year high jump wise for guys kind of getting going, at the pro level. And so this is a good opportunity for him to get out there and battle it out. And I think, initially the goal was to get out there and try and get in some meets that are higher ranking, because the IAAF, World Athletics have changed the kind of qualifying standards for Olympics. And you have to, if you don't meet those standards of what he cleared at 223, you have to kind of accumulate points. And so our goal was to try and get into a few meets where you can start accumulating some points by winning some bigger meets. Just in case you don't get the standard, they'll select you based on the ranking on the point system.
Yeah. So him getting 7 3/4 today, did you say, is that an Olympic standard? Is that qualifying?
Yeah, it's Olympic qualifying standard. So that makes him the second American, coming off from last year's list, be the second American to get that mark. And it's a really difficult standard because they've made all the standards extremely high. It used to be 229, used to be 7.6 and things like that. They brought the standard really high because they want to make the automatic qualifier numbers down, and they want to be able to select based on rankings, based on a point system that they've developed. And so for him to get that standard is pretty impressive because not many people jump that each year.
Yeah, and kind of takes the pressure off of him now. Then,
a lot of pressure. Yeah, it can change kind of honestly the way he trains now. You know, you don't have to just train from meet to meet. You can start really prepping him and preparing for the biggest meets when they count. And a lot of people have to go all the way to the Olympic trials and all the outdoor meets to try and jump themselves into shape to get those kind of marks. And so, yeah, to get that off his back is going to be incredible for him.
Who was the other American that's gotten it? Is it Kennard or Geron or?
No, it's actually a collegian last year from Tennessee, Daryl Sullivan. He's the only other person at 233, and he did that as a collegian from University of Tennessee.
I see. Did you? How has Trey been training lately? And for him to go, I mean, to get 7.7 3/4. Last time he had done that was the very first day in the Sports Performance Center. What did you think of kind of what he has done the last couple of years? And did you think he was gearing back up to get back to that level?
Yeah, I mean, I'll never be a coach arrogant enough to be like, oh yeah, he's going to go jump almost 7.8 today. But this year was a lot like college. So this is a lot like a senior year. All the training, all the weight room, literally the meets that he's competed in has been almost an identical replication of his senior year in college. And so we wanted to kind of go back and revisit that. And, last year was tough with a lot of things going on, even with his brother and trying to be a supportive part and his rookie year and watching him go through that process. He kind of rededicated himself and said, I'm going to refocus this on me. I'm going to really try and hammer this thing out. I'm going to really focus on the weight room strength, speed, and everything else. And so Trey's numbers and speed and strength and even technique is starting to surpass all the things he was able to do his senior year in college. And so given the opportunity, given the environment, given, just the kind of the right timing, big jumps can happen. I've been seeing in those first meets, they've been right there. You just have to clean up some things. So, for him to go out there solo, no coach, maybe that's the best thing for him is me not being in his ear all the time. Who knows? To go out there and jump as well, that's an awesome deal for him.
And back here at home today, I guess kind of like usual, y'all had another real good high jump competition. What's the caliber of the field look like? Yeah,
man, it's awesome. When these guys have come here, they've jumped really well. Seeing Ernie Sears and seeing, from Oklahoma, Vernon Turner, those kind of guys, and then some of our young jumpers starting to step up and learn how to compete at that level. Every time we host a high jump competition here, I almost need to start trying to rally to get some more credit for high jump here when it comes to that international ranking, because there's been so many big jumps that's happened in this facility and so many elite jumpers. So it's starting to become a reputation here, and it's fun to watch it happen.
Well, and I was going to ask Wes about that. Not only in the high jump, but today there's two collegiate records set in the pole vault and top put. I know it's not really a new thing for y'all, but what does this continue to do for y'all, for Lubbock's reputation as kind of a track destination, as a place to come to put up big marks and times?
No, I mean, this is why we were fortunate to see a $50 million facility get erected here and be able to get all the benefits from it. I mean, Coach Kitley poured his heart and soul for many years to be able to have a facility like this, and now to know that all the top programs around the country, there's not a year that goes by that we don't probably have 7 of the top 10 teams in the nation that run on our track. Sometimes all top 10 have been on our track at some point. And so to have that kind of atmosphere, to have that kind of, people basically lobbying to come to Lubbock, Texas, there's not many sports that can say that everybody wants to come out here and get on the track. So I think we have, one of the 2 to 3 premier tracks in the nation, and I like to rival our track compared to any place in the world when you start seeing some of the things that happen in improvements and PRs and all-time top 10 marks for such a young track. It's been some phenomenal things happening.
Back on your high jumpers, how'd you feel about Jack and Caleb today? It looked like they were pretty consistent with their previous heights?
Those guys are all one jump from duplicating the bar before at the next bar. I mean, and it's a mental thing. Obviously, you get a kid who's never jumped 7 foot, that's a barrier. That's a mental barrier. That's something that you have to battle. It can change everything you do about your approach. And, with Jack Scarborough thinking about, this bar gets me to the indoor national championship. That's a selective group of the top 16. And, that 7-2 and some change gives you a great opportunity to be selected as part of the top 16 in the nation. So those kind of things weigh heavy on the shoulder. And typically, if you can just bypass those barriers, you can relax and just go jump. So I almost wish they could get it out the way so they can really show what they're capable of. But I mean, they're both talented. They're both working their tails off. They both have the ability to jump higher. Now it's just kind of beating that battle between the ears and allowing yourself to go out there and do some things.
Of course, it's been a good year for you with your horizontal jumpers. How did you feel about kind of what they've done and what they did this weekend?
Man, I keep being impressed with them. They're going out there and competing, being strategic as far as, when we're competing, what we're competing with. But, for Monet to go out there and have another jump, a really good elite level jump coming off of her big performance is huge. Ruth is she's just let too many red flags fly up right now, too many fouls, but she's that one I can't wait for them to measure a jump. Just measure one of those things because she's been looking incredible. She's been training extremely well. Her confidence is high. She's just doing something that I've been always wanting to do. She's being extra aggressive. Now it's time to be aggressive and execute the small things. And when those come together, I think it's going to be really good for both of them. And then those guys are coming along as well, getting guys like Safin Wills and Jalen, who just transferred here, getting a couple of those guys in a rhythm where they can really start filling these things out and become a big factor, hopefully at the NCAA level.
I know last year, obviously, y'all said that Ruth was a great talent, and she showed it. But what did you think for her to go 46 twice this early in the year? Or at any time, let alone this early in the year?
Yeah, anytime you take that, and you're never going to kind of shake your head or slouch at anything like that. But she's just been super consistent. You can see it. I feel like if I'm obviously being selective how much we jump her because that's a taxing event on the body. And after you've jumped really far, it's hard to kind of gear yourself up for that every time. But, her focus is on, trying to be a national champion. And now that she has that in her mind, and be an Olympian and be all those kind of things, her work ethic is starting to match that, and it's always been there and you've always seen the talent. I don't think there's a single athlete or coach on our staff who's surprised by it. But the fun thing is understanding that there's so much more left in her, so she goes out there and improves this thing, goes further. Like there's still not going to be many shocked people, but we're also not going to take it for granted how hard it is to be jumping near 47, 46 foot every time you jump in an indoor track. So, it's fun. We're enjoying it. We enjoy her. I've called her the ultimate teammate. So anytime she has success, we all kind of get to embrace it because she's deserving of it.
I think that's about it for me. Eric, you wanted to ask anything else?
All right, guys.
Appreciate it, James. Thank you.
All right, y'all. We got Coach Kitley coming up.
Coach.
No, not me. Hey guys.
Wes.
Hey, Coach. Hey Don, you mind if I get a question real quick? I have to hop on the Lady Raiders at some point. So
I was gonna ask you to start actually.
Wow. Big time. Coach, I just had a quick question. If you've got an update on Courtney's status, I know he pulled up kind of lame in that in his race today.
Yeah, we're not sure, to be honest. We feel like that he cramped up is the positive side, and so we're going to do an MRI on it tomorrow. We're just going to really try to make sure, and we probably won't know for a couple of days. But he's walking well. His strength was good in it, and so I'm very hopeful. Hoping and praying that it wasn't anything too serious.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Eric.
Go ahead, Don.
Was it in a hamstring or?
Is a right hamstring.
Right hamstring. Okay.
Yeah.
To you, Eric.
And then just overall, how do you think over the 2 days your athletes performed?
It was up and down. Now, to be honest with you, I'm not disappointed. We've been rocking and rolling every week, and then we had 3 meets in a row, and then we trained hard this past week, and And I thought some kids would be a little sharper than they were, but it's just been up and down with our COVID stuff and who's with us and who's not. And I think it just depends a lot on each week. And some people have been having improvements every week for 3 weeks in a row, and then this one they didn't. And so, I'm a little bit disappointed when you see that. But to be honest, I've done this 37 years, and you need to have one of those because it'll humble you a little bit, and then it'll also get you back to work.
When you have one of those, but it's kind of later in the season, when you have to kind of fix it in a quicker turnaround time, what's the best way that you found to do that?
Mostly get right back on the horse, get right back to work and get right and try to fix those things. There was a lot of coaching this week with our staff in various events of fixing little things. And then I think some of the kids went into the meet thinking about that. Well, that's not the place to do it. You got to fix it in practice. And then you got to, when the gun goes off or the throw goes off, you have to concentrate on the throw. And I think that might've been just a little bit of it. And we had a good week of practice and we had some good week of learning. But when you're trying to fix one or two minute things to make inches in the shot put or or the weight or things like that, sometimes you regress slightly for a week or so.
Wes, what'd you think what did Kareem Bartley's 2060 look like to you?
Well, it looked great, and I sure wished he had an indoor, but it just gives us some excitement for knowing what we're going to have outside. And I haven't denied this at all and not making light of our indoor season at all, but we're a way better outdoor team. And so to get some of those guys, Jay Hall and him and and Werner Bauer and the javelin and people like that are just going to add so much to our outdoor team and even outdoor events like the 400 hurdles for Norman that really he doesn't have a great event for indoor. Those things just it gives me so much hope to see him running a 200 that good, because he's a 2.4, and so we can move him in any direction and run on both relays. So real proud of him. But he's a hard worker. He's been training hard, but he hasn't done any speed work really. So that's what made it so much so impressive.
We were talking to Lexi Price earlier, and she
Yep.
was telling us she came here as a walk-on that her coach, I guess, contacted y'all.
He did.
A success, another one of your kind of success stories of people who come here as walk-ons and then kind of continue to develop.
Yeah, and she's really just this, I call it the spitting image of my program and what I wanted. And we take so much pride in developing kids. And she's just, the most delightful young lady as a human being. And then to see her come in here and to go to work and to get a scholarship and just improve and improve and improve. And the greatest thing, she's real shy and she's so humble. And so to see her be more aggressive running today, it's the best I've ever seen her with an aggressiveness, and what I call it is confidence. I saw her running with confidence today. And so really proud of that.
I'm just going to ask you also, and I know it's not really anything new anymore, but yet again today, huge marks being put up. Today it wasn't necessarily your people, but Casey Lightfoot breaking the collegiate record, and then you have the Arizona State shot putter breaks the collegiate record.
Records, which we've been seeing every week, as you know. And it's incredible to have those people come here and to be a part of our meet and to have those type performances. It just makes everybody excited and want to do well.
And this is probably, I'm sure I know I've asked you this before, but what does it kind of continue to do to enhance your reputation as kind of a destination for track and field?
Yeah, I feel this is the fastest track, and facility in the country. And I know others will argue, one or two other facilities, and they're very good. But I think when we gather the group here at one time, what we don't get to do is have a national meet where we haven't had on this track, where we bring the very best to this track. If you ever did that one time, then you would just, you would see an elevation even higher than we have. But week in, week out, USC, she said I'd come here every week. Carol did, things like that. So you love hearing that. from Arizona State. This is their favorite place. So I think it's a great compliment to the university and especially Texas Tech.
And there were no pass lists this weekend, right? No, not even any guests allowed for.
Yes, we did allow our kids to have two, but I think with the weather, we hardly had anybody over there. We had a few maybe students that were friends with them, but I looked over there several times. It looked like there might be 15, 20 people in the stands.
I mean, and that's another thing. I mean, because then you don't really have the necessarily, it's hard to quantify, but you don't necessarily have the adrenaline aspect.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. It'd make a difference if we had a crowd.
Yeah. Just ask James about this. What'd you think about Trey today, Culver?
Oh man, I'm just so proud of him that he's getting back to what he did, and I think it's just everything you're seeing now is his fall. He's getting back to doing what I think he did to make him great. And he got in the weight room and he got strong like he was, and he's let Coach Thomas take back over everything he's doing, and he's just like a college kid in there in the weight room and in the training that he's doing with our team. And so I think it's so hard on a pro once they get out of the daily routine of a college life. And I think it's really was hard on him, that adjustment. And now I think he's back to work doing what made him great.
Yeah. Eric?
I'm good. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you. I'll stay warm.
Yes, sir. You too.
Hey.
Thanks, Wes.
Thanks, Coach. All right. Thanks, y'all. I appreciate it.
Hey, Jeremy, I forgot to ask, and I meant to ask Wes. The facility records that were set today, that dates that includes the athletic training facility center, I believe, correct?
No, our facility records in the record book are just the SPC.
Just since 18?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it makes it tricky because the other one was a flat track, right?
Yes.
Most of our records, we just those should be available somewhere. I can't remember where they are in our record book, but in the front couple pages, what we have is definitely for the SPC.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Very good.
All right. If y'all need anything else, let me know. But anyway, I appreciate your coverage, and I'll send this out and put it on YouTube.
All right. Thank you.
See y'all later.